All right, welcome back. It's time for us to get into another very important conversation. And right now we're going to be talking about child abuse. And child abuse is something that happens all across the country in so many several communities. And we have an organization called Ghanaian Against Child Abuse. All right, it's a campaign that is important for us to all put our shoulders behind and support in many ways, because listen, the country, I've always said this, that we are as good as our weakest and most vulnerable people. All right, we can't look at the best parts of the country and rate ourselves according to that. We have to look at the weakest parts and the most vulnerable parts and see how well are we really doing when it comes to that. Okay, well, we've been joined in the studio by a resource person. She's Abna Aprekua Bedu Abuaje, the Principal Program Officer for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And we're going to have this conversation about Ghanaian Against Child Abuse. Abna, you're welcome.
Thank you very
It's good
much.
to have you here. All right. So this, what exactly is the focus of this Ghanaian Against Child Abuse? Because we know that child abuse, it can be defined pretty broadly, you know. So what's the focus?
Okay, let me take you back a little bit.
Please do.
In 2016, 2015, Ghana decided that we need to strengthen our child protection system, because our child protection system was geared towards only responsive, but we need to prevent. So we decided to revamp and strengthen our child protection system. So we decided to have a policy, and also it's for the child protection system to work, it's a three-prong. We need to have our policies and our laws in place. We need to provide the social welfare services to our children. And we also need to have a social behavioral change about certain things we do for children. So Ghanaians Against Child Abuse is the social behavioral change campaign, which is the aspect of the child protection system, which seeks to prevent and also protect children from all forms of abuse, violence, exploitation, and other forms that children face in Ghana. So in 2017, the Ghanaians Against Child Abuse was launched by the Honorable First Lady, Her Excellency Samira Baumia, launched it. So it is, the behavioral change campaign is two prongs, sorry. We have the Ghanaians Against Child that deals with social media and traditional media, and we have one also that we develop a community child protection toolkit that will go into the communities, educate people, generate discussion among the community people on how to better protect our children without us imposing our will on them. But so it's just like a flashcard. It's just, we have games, we have other things that we stimulate discussion on protecting our children using our own local solutions in protecting the children. So Ghanaians Against Child Abuse is we deal with the social media as well as we also go to the community, and we also have ambassadors who champion the cause of child abuse and draw people's mind to things that we do that does not occur well for children. Okay.
Can you give us a broad definition of child abuse? What is child abuse?
Child abuse is the infringement of the rights of a child, especially when we are exploiting them, we are abusing them, we are exploiting their vulnerabilities. It's not normally when we see child abuse, people think it's only about sexual and physical, but no, but there are other forms of child abuse. As I said, GACA, we have, or the social behavioral change, we have 11 pillars that we have messages on.
11 pillars?
11 pillars. It's called communication pillars. We have messages on all of them. And they are all child abuse. We have child marriage. We have family-based care. Every child has a right to grow up in a family. And family, but not an institution like orphanages. Because even when we write to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, a report on it, where it came back that we should make sure that the number of children in our orphanages should be reduced. That's why the Department of Social Welfare are promoting fostering in Ghana. Because Ghana, we already have the fostering system already. But somehow lost, so we are just bringing out, we have child labor, we have sexual sexual violence, we have physical abuse that we talk about. We also have children and adolescent online safety. It's a very, very big issue right now that we need to protect them. We have child trafficking. We have corporal punishment. Corporal punishment, anywhere you say, you talk about it, it's a big issue. We have bullying. Our children go to school, they are bullied. They are in the house, they are bullied. They go to church, they are bullied. So we use other forms of campaigning. Also, we have all these messages. We have posters. We have a whole lot of materials on these 11 pillars that we use in campaigning for against child abuse.
Okay, so talking about going out in the communities to talk to people about these issues, are there some institutions that you'll be partnering with? For example, the churches and the mosques. Are you looking at partnering with some of those institutions to go talk to them about these issues?
Yeah, we just started, last year we started one, and this year too we've done. We are going about in the regions, engaging our religious, traditional, and religious and traditional leaders, especially the religious will be the Christians, the Muslims, and the traditional will be our chiefs, because they are very, very important. We realize that we can't do this behavioral change campaign without these people, because they command a lot of people. Their platform is wide. We can use them, so we've been engaging them, and yes, going through with them about the child protection system. What is child protection? We do the Christian perspective on child protection. We do the Islamic perspective on child protection. We do the traditional perspective on child protection. So when they go back, they'll use their platform. Because of that, even the Church of Pentecost and Seventh Adventist Church, they call us to train their children ministries teachers on the need to protect our children, go through with them about the laws, what is child protection, other things that they need to do to protect their children, what are the signs that maybe when you are teaching a child that maybe a child comes, we do that. We even go by, we use the Ghana Education Service is our major partner. The social welfare and the community development officers in the districts and the communities they are the ones who go into the communities to do that community sensitization.
Okay, so talking about also working with the social welfare and so on. This whole thing has been about, talking to people in the community. Do you give your, the other institutes that you work with, like the social welfare, do you give them that basic training that they also need to know? Because most times in issues like this, when you walk up there, some of them don't even have that basic training.
Oh, they have every social welfare. You can't do child abuse cases without the presence of a social welfare officer. Okay. And maybe sometimes they are overburdened, we understand, because it goes to a district and there's maybe 1, 2 or 3 social officers in the district. Because they take care of all forms of vulnerabilities in the community. So sometimes they are overburdened, but they are major sponsors. And as I said about the community, when you go to the community, there is a toolbox that has every information that they need to know about child protection. And that has been distributed all over. At least we know that, if not at all, we have about 160 districts that we have. They have the toolbox, they have been trained. We spend 5 days training every social, 3 to 5 days, training them on the basic concept of child protection, what they need to, you have to even use the toolkit in educating the public on it. So they have been trained. So it may be just like overburdened, and let's say they sometimes they lack the logistics to go out and do those things. So that was one of the major issues. But social welfare officers, I don't think any social officer will say, I have not been trained on child abuse. It's their core mandate, and it's part of their training at the School of Social Work. Even when you go to the university, you are doing social work. Child abuse, child protection is part of their training.
Okay. So, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, Do you feel as if we're making strides forward?
Yeah, we are making strides. But it will take time. Behavioral change, especially on corporal punishment, it's not a one-day thing. It will take time. As we are engaging more people, we are bringing people's minds to certain things and certain practices that we do that does not help the child. It will take time, but we are gradually going. But maybe the rates at which we are going, we need to move faster. That's why
I think so.
But people say,
I think so.
One of the arguments that people make, which I guess doesn't help with the the whole ideology behind corporal punishment is people say that my father beat me and look at me, I'm fine, I'm good. It didn't affect me negatively.
Yes.
In fact, it helped me in many ways.
Yeah, we face this issue, corporal punishment.
How do you deal with that?
Well, that's what we try to give them the negatives and the positives, but normally the negatives outweigh the positive. But we need to also, I always tell them that if an adult beats an adult, it's an assault. But when an adult beats a child, it's correction. We have so many ways of correcting children.
Sure.
But Ghana, we already know about caning and beating, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Because our mothers did it to us. So we think that's the only way that we know. But there are other forms of positive discipline. And so it's even in the toolbox and the community facilitation toolkit that we use in the communities. So let's look for other ways of disciplining our children rather than using the corporal punishment. Corporal punishment has been banned from the schools, but it has not been banned from the home setting.
No.
So right now, even teachers are they don't know how to correct these children because
they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know because the only thing that we know is caning.
Yeah.
And because maybe they are saying because we've taken away caning, so
what are we going to do?
So what are we going to do? We need to look for. That's why even with the schools, we have it's also part of the social behavioral change. We call something called the Safe School Program, which was launched. They relaunched the logo some time back, and it also will help. They will go about. They'll give a safe school, which is free from bullying, which is free from corporal punishment. So that when you're sending your child to a school, you know that these things are not it's devoid of those things. But when they come and they train you, they'll give you other forms of correcting a child, not cane. And this will help us. And I think it's time because it's generational. It's been long since our parents have been beating us, but it will take time.
Any final words?
All that I want to say is everybody should come on board and be a Ghanaian against child abuse. Let's protect our children. Our children are our future leaders. There's no need to expose them to all forms of violence, all forms of exploitation and abuse. The children are our future leaders. Let's protect them. And everyone should be a Ghanaian against child abuse. So you can go to our website. We have iamgaca.org. You go there. We are on Facebook also. It is Ghanaians Against Child Abuse. It's GACA. We are on TikTok, which is GACA Ghana. We are on Instagram and we are also on Twitter. Please go like and look at videos. We have a lot of information. We even have animation videos on we have 5 animation videos on 5 of our pillars.
Okay.
You can go there, read about it. If you need any help in sensitizing your children or your community, you contact us at the Ministry of Gender, Department of Children, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. We'll be available to help you in any way that we can. Let's be Ghanaians Against Child Abuse.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been speaking with Apna Prekua Bedu Ajboaje. She is the Principal Program Officer with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Breakfast Daily is going to take a quick break again, and we'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere.